Welcome back, everyone. They're clapping for us. That is so great. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What an event. Well, we're breathing a little bit now, aren't we?
No.
We're breathing a little bit.
We've been nonstop for over 2 hours.
Katina Makris joining me here today. I'm Dr. Pat, as many of you know me. Lyme Light Radio, the Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio. Last year, you heard an interview that I got to do with a young woman. And it was one of the hardest interviews I think I've ever done on this topic. But it was the interview that enabled me to take a new direction of what we do with the network, what we're doing, and launching Lyme Global here, lymeglobal.com shortly. And for those of you out there, there's a reason for it. Beyond Katina and I having our own journey, our own struggles, one of the things is we see the struggle in other people. People that are at the point in times in their lives where they should be celebrating.
Yes, having
rejoicing,
fun.
But yet they're showing up at events like this, like my very, very special guest today, joining me here today. You know, she's someone that truly inspired me to keep doing what we are doing this year and has helped so many people. Chloe, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
I remember how nervous you were last year.
I was.
But John made you do it, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, so this is Chloe Rapp, for people that haven't met Chloe before. You visited us last year in Martha's Vineyard. And Chloe has had a long journey with Lyme disease since you were, what, an early teen?
11 years old.
11 years old.
So I'm 21 now, so it's been a decade.
Yep.
And a rough decade, but I'm excited for the next decade because I have a feeling of hope that this is a turning point, and I feel really honored to be a part of that turning point. And it's something to be proud of, that someday I'll be able to look back on my experience and see kids that get Lyme disease and get well right away.
Yeah.
And it's because people like you guys and TBDA do this work to find a cure so that people don't have to go through the struggles that I went through as a child.
Yeah, it's so shocking, really, how many youngsters and teens get infected. They don't show the bullseye rash.
I didn't have one.
Right, and would just come down with a flu or headaches, or, then the malaise sits in, or, you just can't focus for your schoolwork.
Exactly.
And, most of the doctors don't even think to check these teens and youngsters for
Lyme.
Lyme.
They refuse to.
And I know one of the things that you're passionate about is bringing Lyme disease education into the school system.
Yes. I never want any young child to have to go through the path that I walked. So anything that I can do to help them create a new curriculum that is meant for kids with Lyme disease and accommodates them so that they have an equal chance at walking. Whereas I had to homeschool myself for all of high school.
Yes.
And I got A's and 5s on my APs, and I insisted on walking, but it took a huge toll on my health, and I don't think that's fair for kids who are mentally able to do well in school to have...
Right, they lose a school year or two, and not everybody can get a tutor or do homeschooling.
To have their health compromised in order to do well in school, because getting Lyme is not your fault.
Right.
It's not like you committed a crime, so you shouldn't be punished for it.
Right. But you do feel like that, don't you? I mean, I'm not 21, but even with my journey, you come to a place where you feel like you're not being heard, right? And that was part of what you shared with me a year ago.
I felt like I wasn't being heard.
Right.
Which is why I started working with Katina, which was amazing. It was such an incredible experience.
Yes.
Chloe.
Chloe
was my personal assistant and helped with Lyme Light Radio for all of our listeners that have tuned in every week. Chloe was helping me with all the social media feeds and tweeting for us and Facebooking. And
it was a blast.
It was wonderful.
And I would love to work with you again just because it's so much fun working with you.
Yes, I bet it's a real hoot, though.
It's so much fun. It is.
We have a lot of fun together.
Yeah. It's good to make light of Lyme disease.
I mean, look at us. I mean, who do you think? I mean, look at us. We even did this after the Saturday Night Live gig. I mean, we're calling this Lyme from New York. It's Thursday night. I mean, we got to lighten up a little bit about it.
You have to always...
Not anything to laugh about, but...
The vibration is so heavy of Lyme disease.
Yes,
you know, when you're so sick, you're so down at the bottom of the barrel, your whole personal vibration is despair and fear and suffering. And so you're right, we have to lift the energy and rise above it, right?
It's so important to turn your weakness into a strength and find somebody like Katina and Dr. Pat and move on to partnering with TBDA and making light of a weakness and turning it into something that you can do to help others.
And Chloe, I remember that you a couple years ago were doing so well. You'd gotten strong enough that you were off to college.
Yes.
Right?
So when I finished high school, we thought I was in remission. I'll be okay. It's done with. I can go off to college, and my plan was that, and I followed through because I got into the program, that I went and I lived in Madrid for my first 2 years of college, and by the end of it, I ended up at about 75 pounds as a 20-year-old.
Wow.
Just because bacteria was eating away all the nutrients I was digesting, so I was absorbing nothing. And I was so weak, I fell down my stairs, broke my ribs, and had a complete relapse out of left field. And my dad had to come to Spain and rescue me. So
it's been a treacherous year then too, hasn't it?
It's been a very hard year, but it's so
a lot of emergency room visits this past year, right?
Even when you think you're well, it's so important to follow up.
Right.
Keep on
rebuilding all the depletions and damage that the illness
keep on
induces.
Watching your body.
Well, look at you're here tonight and looking fabulous.
Thank you.
And I know
it's great to see you.
It's been a journey on so many
now,
levels
where
for
are
you.
you now? Tell us where you are now and what your game plan is here, because I know you're back. Mm-hmm. So I want to know that folks can really not just deal with this, but thrive.
So I'm attending college at Suffolk University. I have a PICC line that I like to dress up because
very pretty.
You know, if you're gonna have a PICC line, you might as well make it pretty. And I'm on the junior board for TBDA, and that's
congratulations. That's really an accomplishment.
It's really been wonderful. Such an amazing experience and something that I never foresaw in my future. I never expected to come this far from my illness and have it become such a positive aspect of my life, with it being so negative and having so many negative impacts on my entire body. But now being a part of organizations like TBDA and Lyme Light Radio really
it empowers you.
It really makes your spirit lighten up and feel like revived.
Yeah, well, we're really proud of you, Chloe. You're a stunning example for others to witness of what it's like for a teenager who is decimated by this illness and how you keep courageously fighting back and these different milestones that you've achieved. And keep working at it.
I will. I hope to help any kid or teenager going through this that are stuck in the mud, because when you have Lyme, you slip into that hole of depression so easily.
Oh, yes.
And there's something called Lyme depression, and it's different than depression.
It is.
Yes.
And you slip into that hole of depression, so any kid or any teenager that I can help get out of the mud and see the light at the end of the tunnel is a success for me. So,
and any parent, for those of you listening, any parent, if your child is coming to you, you might want to take a second look at what they're saying and at what their experience is. Not every kid on this planet has ADD and ADHD. Not every kid on this planet is going through hormonal changes.
Yeah.
Not every kid on this planet is taking some illegal substance that you
Or
might
is
think.
lazy.
Or is lazy.
Or wants
Right.
to sleep all day,
Or wants to sleep
wants
all
to skip
day.
school and
Right.
go
Exactly.
Is nervous and
Exactly.
has digestive issues.
That's right. So for those of you listening to this, here's the message. That's not normal for a kid to act like that. Children want to play. They want to be happy. They make that happy song. And if your child is acting like that, think again. If your child is acting like that, tune into Lyme Light Radio. If your child is acting like that, tune into the Dr. Pat Show. If your child is acting like that, go to Tick-Borne Disease Alliance and look up some of the things that are going on and talk to these young people. Because what you may find out may save their lives.
And at the very least, get a Western blot. It can't harm you in any way possible. It's just a way to protect yourself and know if you have Lyme or not.
There you go.
And so there's no harm in getting a Western blot. So fight for it. Get the testing done.
I actually got
And
mine.
go
I
as-
actually
go-
ran across my first one back in 2003 or something. I
Go-
actually was cleaning out the closets, and there it was.
Go as far as you have to go to get that test.
Yes, get it
because
done.
that test can save your life. I had to call in my uncle from California, who's a plastic surgeon, to get my test.
To get your test.
Wow.
And
Is that because no one else would do it?
the hospitals in Boston,
Oh,
literally,
right. Okay.
they wanted
right.
to test me for every cancer test
That's right.
possible,
Right.
and would not give me a Western blot.
That's right.
So you have to be very adamant about getting the test.
Chloe,
Well,
I
thank
hope you'll
you.
come back again.
I always
We're
will
going
be
to follow
here.
you for as long as I'm around.
I will
Yes.
be with you two forever.
Thank you.
Chloe.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Let's
thank
take a
you.
short break, everyone. We'll be right back.